What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie S. Dot coming back to you with another video. Today's video is going to be a double deck profile, but the double deck profile is just the changes that I made to the deck during the Gen Con tournament. So this is for Alphamon. First of all, I had a very good weekend. I know this is a little bit overdue, but still just the Alphamon deck profile in general because it's one of the main decks I've been playing for the format, and I have yet to do a deck profile for it. So I figured what better than to just do a double deck profile for how I did well in each event. So the Ultimate Cup event on Thursday at Gen Con, August 4th, I placed 14th. Oh no, I placed 12th rather. I placed 12th with Alphamon, and then obviously Alphamon. And then on Sunday, I got 6th after Swiss. It was only 5 rounds, but I mean, still, it is what it is. We got as much as we could in. But I got 6th after Swiss during that tournament. Also, of course, with the same deck. And what's happening, YouTube? It's your homie S. Dot coming back to you with another video. This video will be a quick one. It'll be a double deck profile, but it won't be me going over all the cards again. It'll just be me going over the changes that I made to this deck because I played this same deck, Alphamon, in 2 different tournaments that got me some solid finishes. Out of the 4 tournaments for the weekend, I had 3 out of 4 good showings. The other showing was okay technically, but I got 12th with Alphamon on Thursday at the Ultimate Cup. I got 69th on Friday with Mastermind. I got 14th on Saturday with War Greymon X and got my invite at the regional on Saturday, and then Sunday I got 6th after everything was said and done with Alphamon again. So I had a very solid weekend. Can't complain. I brought home a bunch of prize cards. We got the Galantmon still right here, so the Galantmon was cool. I still got a bunch of Ultimate Cup prize cards, so if anybody's looking for Ultimate Cup prize cards, let me know. I got like 2 of each. Still yet to have gotten the fighter mode yet. I haven't made a top 8 at the Ultimate Cup, but I have 2 top 16s at Ultimate Cups, one with Mastermind and then one with Alpha. So if you're looking for prize cards, let me know. And like I said, I still got the Galantmon, still a 1 of 16 card in the world. It's pretty cool. I think we have more online DC events still coming up soon, so it won't be but it'll still be very scarce. So it's the last prize card I've ended up holding on to. I did sell the War Growl and the Growlmon already, but yeah. So jumping into the deck profile, like I said, when I get to the second one, it'll just be the changes that I made going into Sunday and why I did, and if they were even right or wrong, etc., etc. But this is a little bit overdue. That Gen Con's been earlier this month. But however, I haven't had an Alphamon profile on this channel yet. So jumping into it, we play 10 rookies here. I played 2 of the new Doramon, 4 Ryudomon, and then 4 Doramon. Obviously, this Doramon is the best one that you want to start with. This Doramon is the one that you always want to usually Digivolve in back with because of how the rest of the deck functions when you have Dora Greymon. Having being able to gain that free memory is just kind of insane. Sometimes if you have 2, it's okay to Digivolve 1 over top, and then play the other one to be a search, and it does allow you to hit a Coda or a Coda and an X Antibody Digimon. Of course, Ryuda is the weaker one, but it still is a searcher. Reveal the top 3, add 1 Digimon with X Antibody in the source and a UG, and you play out a good 2 to. I see Bill's playing 2 to 4 UG, so hitting this is a lot more valuable when you have the +2 there, because UG is a very strong card. And then last but not least, we have 2 of the new Doramon. 10 rookies was kind of low, but the way that the deck functions and like with the Cool Boys search like almost literally every single card in your deck except for Grumblemon. So it's a little different than like the Belga deck and War Grey X. And this card, ideally, you'd like to pitch a Oryumon with this card, or just an excess X Antibody card you have in your hand. And it's a nice little D-draw effect to help you dig into your deck, and it's always been solid. 10 did feel bad at times, but you play so many other search cards. You have 4 Cool Boys, you have 2 to 4 Black Memory Boosts, etc. So it kind of is what it is. And I'm bad. I did not talk about the eggs first, but at the same time, you guys already know what it is with the eggs. I think I saw like Japan playing Kyomon going into BT10, so that might be a 5th egg that we may or may not add. But 4 Doraemon is the only one you really care for right now. Put a source under it. Once per turn, you get to draw a card. Dig further into your deck. This is one of the most consistent decks of the format. Rather, very strong. Keep in mind, this is my Thursday Ultimate Cup build. Next up, we have 4 decks Dora Greymon, or Darugamon rather. We have 4 regular Darugamon, and then 1 Grumblemon. So Grumblemon is a solid card. A lot of times, I feel like you can get away without playing it. I feel like there's no correct or incorrect answer. I've seen builds like the one guy that won Ultimate Cup with Alphamon playing 2 Ogremon, and I get why he's playing it, but I still don't think that's right. But I think that's just a player preference thing, because clearly he won the entire tournament, so it's clearly not that bad. So you can get away without playing the Grumblemon, and you won't be right or wrong. You won't necessarily even miss it, because a lot of times it goes to the bottom with your searcher effects, with your Black Memory Boost is the only card that can really grab this. And unless this is the only Black Digimon that you have of Black Memory Boost, you're probably grabbing something else if it helps you get to your pieces. This also feels bad to Digivolve in the back. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do though, but this feels bad Digivolving because it's not an X antibody card that allows Alphamon or Yukin to put it to the bottom to gain a memory off of. But overall, the card's still solid. And then this is the real bread and butter of the deck. The Darugamon being in the back while you have a Dex Darugamon, Dex Darugamon in your hand is very scary for your opponent. If you have something like a Cool Boy or two Cool Boys and a Yuji, like things get pretty scary for your opponent next turn. And there are some times with this deck where it draws so much and it's such a well-oiled engine that you can kind of raise without having one or two pieces, and most likely draw to those pieces with the way how this deck functions, depending on how many Yujis and Cool Boys you have, because you're gaining so much value off of these cards. The fact that you Digivolve for 0 with a Dex Darugamon is just pretty insane, and it allows you to gain retaliation blocker as long as you're Digivolving over Darugamon, and then you just literally gain a memory here, which is just wild to me. I feel like if it costs 1, just like a Dex Doru Gray, things would be a little different with the format, but the fact that it's free and then a Cool Boy lets you gain more memory, and it just makes sense how the deck flows to get you all the way up into your Oryukin. You can go from potentially a rookie all the way up to Oryukin in the same turn, which is kind of insane. But yeah, so very, very insane package. You need nothing more, nothing less with that. Can't play less than 4 of each of the Darugas. Next up, we have the card, sad for all the Alphamon players. This card's going to 1, but and honestly, what's crazy to me is like on the backside now that I know this card's going to 1 eventually at some point, it makes me value this card even more. Like, it makes me kind of like play differently, and it's like realizing it's like, dang, this card's going to go to 1 eventually. But this card's pretty strong. We know level 5s are some of the most powerful cards in the game. That gateway between bridging the gap between your champion and your mega, and they have some pretty great effects. Shout out to Savior, Jet Sylvia, all those cards are just insane. And unfortunately, this level 5 is the next one to go. But this is one of the cards that just allows you to feel safe about raising your champion and then Digivolving in this, because most of the time your opponent's not going to be able to get rid of it unless it's a Mastermon, Mastermon with Chaos Degradation, and even then sometimes you might have Kongu and then they can't even do that. So this is like the ultimate protection from your opponent's cards, especially against red. This is one of the cards that's really good against War Gray decks, because while this is unsuspended, unless they have a way to attack unsuspended Digimon, which they do, but it's just rare, and depending on what deck they're playing, this card's just insane. So giving security attack +1, being able to manage memory and put a card under for Doru and make this pretty much a 2 cost. The list goes on and on how insane this card is. So enjoy it while you can. If you're an Alphamon player, you definitely want to try to play this as much as you can before the card goes to 1. I still think the deck is viable after the card goes to 1. I feel like we're going to get a new Doru Gray at some point, and it just won't be as broken as this one. The same way we got Savior, a new Savior, which is technically that new Savior was better for the Jesmon deck anyway, but digression aside, I feel like we might get another Doru Gray throughout time. It's not really out of the realm of possibility to get a random splash of X antibody with the new Doru Gray, so I wouldn't count out Doru Gray in general completely. But anyway, of course, we're going to add up next. We're going to play 3 Dex Doru Grays. 4 I think is too much, but this card is a great out to memory blockers. You Digivolve 1 over your Doru Greymon, and you can pop a level 4 lower Digimon as long as you're doing that. Overall, you can always just discard a card to keep pretty much, it's a 4 cost, but it only costs 1 over Doru Gray, and it'll pretty much be free as long as you discard a card. And pay attention when you're discarding cards with Dex Doru Greymon and Dex Doru Gray, because a lot of times after you already have an Oryumon in trash, look at your memory management, and it's going to take a while to deal with, to practice, but look at your memory management, and let's say like you went to from 4 to 3 and you already have an Oryumon in trash. Well, you're probably not going to want to pitch the card. There's a lot of times where you don't need to pitch the card because you don't need to go back up to 4 and then Digivolve into Alphamon and then bring the Oryukin back, or the Oryu back. So there's just like little memory management things to just pay attention to. The short version of it is you don't always have to pitch a card. Just look at your memory, and you may or may not be able to get away with it if you don't truly need to pitch anything. Next up, we have the level 6s rather. So Sunday or Saturday, or Thursday, I played this package like this. So I played 2 Alphamon BT9 and then 1 BT6 Alphamon. Then I played 4 Oryumon. I really wanted to see this card like at all times. It felt like, it's one of the obviously main win cons, this whole package in general. I did feel weird with only 2 of this Alphamon. This Alphamon's insane. Keep in mind, this Alphamon is not just when you Digivolve it. It's once per turn, every turn, if you have like a UG and you go to attack with this, you can add a card under, and it'll trigger its de-Digivolve effect on your opponent's card again. So next up for our sixes, I'm playing 4 Oriyumon and then 2 BT9 Alpha, 1 BT6 Alpha. Sometimes it felt weird when I had this Alphamon. This Alphamon used to be, you know, another one of the BT9 Alpha, and it would be like, dang, if this was the BT9 Alpha, I would have been in such a good spot right now. But this Alphamon also came up because I am playing 1X antibody card, and you know, it's also good out of security, but of course that rarely happens because you're only playing one. But overall, I did mind this package, and again, I really don't think there's a right or wrong answer to really just kind of go in depth with why I played it like this. I think you can get away with ratios really well in this deck based off of how much of a well-oiled machine this deck is. And then last but not least, the reason why we play this deck, 3 Alphamon Oryuken. Of course, you Digivolve for 3 as long as you have Alphamon with the Oryu underneath it. Sometimes you have to like Digivolve for 7 because you don't have that complete combo. But a lot of times you can just Digivolve for 7 and then, excuse me, you know, take enough cards out of your stack to like keep them at 1 if they don't have a memory tamer, or put them at the 3 they were going to get anyway, and just kind of have a decent stack going into the following turn, and potentially, you know, just get ready to do a lot of damage. So this card is just insane. Deleting all your opponent's highest cost Digimon. This is one of the cards that allows you to get rid of Gatekeeper in the Reaper matchup, and then just overall just blowing up most things in the format decks can't handle. Their strongest guy dying to my strongest guy, and then it also can't be deleted because it has protections, etc, etc, etc. Card's great. 16k attack, our first 16k, or no, our second 16k in the game. Very, very strong card. In a mirror match, you want to definitely be careful. Sometimes you want to have a Darugamon under it to make it 17k, because that makes them need to have a Darugamon. If you have protection with your Doragreymon and like you have this suspended, and then you have a Darugamon under you at 17, they need to be careful when they're doing their end of the turn effect, to etc, to not get rid of their Darugamon, because then now they can't kill your Alphamon. So and the best they could probably do most of the time is crash, unless they had an excess of Darugamons to be able to add under to make it 18, etc. So that's it for the Digimon. Next up, we're playing 4 Cool Boy, playing 3 UG, and then 1 Coda. I didn't mind this lineup at all. I saw builds, like I said, playing only 2 UG. I'm not gonna get into crazy detail with these because again, it's just so interchangeable. There's no one right or wrong answer with this. A lot of this just depends on how well you draw throughout the day, and then how efficiently you play the deck. You can technically say that about any deck, but especially for this deck, it's so interchangeable. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I'm just showing you how I played it. Then next up, we played 1X Antibody, 1 Breath of the Gods, 1 Congo, and then 3 Black Memory Boosts. So my thing with the protection cards, I honestly felt like I tried this this day, right? And then I will just say now, I ended up playing another a Congo and a Breath of the Gods on Sunday, because I felt like I needed as much protection as possible. But then I also think back, I'm like, I think I could, I mean, clearly I did well with just 1 and 1 at the event, but I feel like the first time that you play these cards and you play it, hopefully you're not playing it to not lose. Hopefully you're playing it to like protect you so you can win the next turn. A lot of these times when you play these cards, I feel like the first time you activate it, that's going to be it. That's all you need to really do. I feel like having an excess allows for more bricks in the beginning of the game. Now, of course, I did see another Alphamon player that did win playing 2 and 2, so you can get away with it. It's fine, but at the same time, I feel like it's overdoing it and it's not necessary. So I think you can get away with still playing 2 of one of these, or you know, 1 and 1, or maybe like 2 Breath of the God and 1 Congo, or you know, something to that effect. But space gets so tight in this deck, and it just depends on if you're playing the X antibody, because this can be out for another Congo, which is what I did. So just to really talk about real quick about my second build. The second build, the only thing that I ended up changing was I took out Oriyumon and I took out a Grumblemon. So I took out Oryu and a Grumble and the X antibody for another Kongu, Breath of the Gods, and then I added in the another Alphamon. So I played 7. I still played the same amount of megas, but you know, obviously Oriyumon is not a mega that you count to Digivolve over. It technically is just a mega that you have to, you know, that you add in under with your, you know, Doragreymon or your UG, etc. So those are the changes that I made like that. Like I said, I played 2 and 2 on Sunday and ended up getting 6th place. I did lose to Mario's the red ancient deck. My deck, like I was good. I like 2-0'd everybody I played prior to him, and then round 4, all of a sudden my deck just like drew the most awkward hands, and I had to play into Crimson Blazes, and it was just really unfortunate. I couldn't play the game that I wanted to play, but it is what it is. You know, the deck's gonna do that sometimes, and but at least I still got 6th place, so it's a blessing. And then 3 Black Memory Boosts. This card is one of the best. I mean, the Memory Boosts in general are some of the most powerful cards in the game right now. It's pretty much a 1 cost after you play it. To be able to play this for 3 and then search for any Digimon that you need to get pieces to build your stack, and then also just randomly pop this and then gain 2 memory up to make this pretty much a 1 cost. These cards are some of the most efficient cards in the game. If you're new to the game, definitely get you a playset of each color. You know, if you don't know what color that you like, you know, in general or whatever. And they also have alternate art versions, which are really nice as well. The only ones I care for are the red ones, because of course, Red God over here. Love red. But that's it for the deck profile. So I didn't want to take too long with that and to show you the changes that I made with the deck. But just know that the deck is very interchangeable and very flexible, which is really cool about this deck. And I personally like this format. Comment down below if you like this format or not. I feel like a lot of people don't because, oh, I get OTK'd and there's nothing I can do. I disagree. There's nothing you can do at some points, but leading up to that, there are some certain things you can do with memory management that's very important. There are certain things where you can't give your opponent 2 memory, or like you give them 1 memory, and then like against Grand Kawaga, you don't want to have a unsuspended Digimon, because if they have the regular promo Akuamon in raising, if they have Akuamon X antibody, well, they suspend your guy for Digivolving, and now they gain a memory. Now they have the 2 memory to Digivolve into Grand Kawagamon. They Digiburst, have a Weedmon, they gain a memory from the Weedmon, and oh look, now they have another extra memory to go into Grandest Kawaga, and all of a sudden you just lose your whole board, and then hopefully you have something raising, because if you don't, it's probably just game the next turn. So little things like that, you want to, like, if you have a rookie on the field, like, you want to attack against that deck, and of course there are different things you're going to be doing against different decks, but I'm just giving an example that it's not just all bread and butter, you just lose the turn that they go, you know, go ham. Usually a lot of these decks are actually a 2-turn kill. You have to have like a really, really nice setup to have a 1-turn kill, and that doesn't happen as often as a 2-turn kill actually. And like I said, there are some definite skillful plays you can make in this format to put yourself ahead of the curve. I also found little things like, not in this deck because the Cool Boy catches everything, but in like the Melga deck or War Gray, if I don't have a rookie and I open Cool Boy, I most likely won't play the Cool Boy, and I'll actually just pass. I'll pass the free, and a lot of times your next card is a rookie because it just happens like that. That's why, you know, it's so important to really want to go second, because a lot of times your 6th card is a rookie, or then you have the memory boost to help dig, or you have your Davis or whatever, depending on the deck you're playing. Now in that 2nd turn, I probably will play the Cool Boy and hope that I hit Gabu X or Agumon X in those respective decks, because it's like, okay, well, I need to have something I can't just keep passing turn, or I'll just hard play a champion or whatever the case is. So I think order of operations is what I'm trying to say is really important in this format. If you're playing an X antibody deck, if you need the X antibody card, play the Cool Boy. But if you need the regular piece before you dig into the X antibody card, you probably should play the memory boost and just wait another turn to play the Cool Boy. I don't think you just play these cards just to play them. And there are just certain intricate things that you need to do that's in terms of memory efficiency, when to give your opponent 3 memory or even 4 memory sometimes, and you think it's not going to matter, etc. So I say all that to say, obviously we should know all this after playing this game for as long as we have, but I don't think it's as black and white as, oh yeah, this format's just a straight OTK format and we just lose like auto. I don't think it's that simple. And I personally like this format. I personally like the change of pace. I got sick of yellow, just grinding things out. I got sick of all the, I mean, people are still playing security control, but I got sick of all the security control decks. Just like, deck's not never tier 1. Like, it's like tier get on your nerves. That's all that tier is. Like, that's all that deck is. It's just tier get on your nerves and just stay in the way and just stress people out, because most people probably don't know how to play against that deck, those decks efficiently, or how their deck should function against those decks, and I feel like they just want to see you like stress, and I think that's whack. I think it's a very toxic way to play the game. Yeah, I don't respect those kind of decks at all, ever. So it is what it is. But that's, without further ado, I'm gonna get up out of here and stop ranting. Comment down below if you guys like the deck profile, how you're playing your Alphamon deck, what kind of weird ways you're playing your Alphamon deck, and that you've been getting away with certain things. Do you like Grumblemon? Do you play 2 Grumblemon? How are you playing Alphamon this format? Also, what do you think about Duragray going to 1 and how the deck is going to function moving forward? Y'all know what it is. Y'all have a great day and or night whenever you're catching this video. This is your homie S. TCG. Heading out. Peace.